Well, good morning, everybody. Tango Charlie. Do you even tango with your Charlie? Did you ever know? The angry Viking therapist. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle, or at least a seagull, because you are the wind beneath my wings. It's so true. Caca! Watchman News, good morning. Good morning. Please tell me you turned that into a metal song. I have not. However, I will definitely figure out how to do that the next time I'm behind these guys. No, I played some Immortal this morning, a little Opeth, some Emperor, some At the Gates, rounded out by the best metal band ever, Thinking Man's Metal, Death. Lack of comprehension and overactive imagination and trapped in a corner. Burzum? Did somebody really bring up Burzum? Wow. Wow. Nice. Thank y'all for being here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is the Bear Independent Intel Report for 7 August. There's 96,600 people at this channel. Y'all are stupendous and crazy, and I love you all, but you need to get your heads checked. You go live the second I hit send. I'm telling you. Bah. Thank you for being here. If you are lurking in the shadows, that's creepy. Don't become compost. Click the subscribe button, ring the little bell, give this thing, I love you back, Roy. Bless you. Have a wonderful day. Give this thing one of them little thumbs up things. There you go. Just like that. I see people pressing the button. Press the button. That helps us defeat the evil YouTube algorithmic robots. I stole that phrase from Stubergear at The Blaze. It's an awesome phrase, and he said it on the internet, so it's mine now. Intel at bearindependent.com is the email address you use to send us your intel and your silver linings, your good news, the stuff that is going on in the world, in your life that is good. Because we don't want to sit around and meditate on, feed ourselves with garbage, right? I was just talking with the brother about this yesterday, we should eat clean, not just with our mouth, but with our eyes and our ears as well. What we consume should not be trash, okay? So I need your good news. I need to know what's going on well in your life. Good morning, holy. Intel at bearindependent.com is where you send that stuff. Fortner's Frontier Leather, good morning, brother. And of course, as always, the entirety of this report is on Patreon. Good morning, Danny Jackson, is where this report lives. We come here and we do this live most days, but not all days. And so sometimes you just need to be a patron to get this report. And as the ongoing battle with YouTube continues here, as we race headstrong towards 100,000 subscribers, I'm telling you point blank, A, Patreon is good to us. B, YouTube is not. C, if you like this show, you think it's worth $1 or more per month, please check us out on Patreon. Dahlia, good morning. And so, without further ado, NWA Preppers here. Now we can start the show. Fluffy bun buns? Yes, fluffy bun buns. That is correct. All the fluffy bun buns. Overview. 7 August 2020. Number of confirmed cases. Brandon, thank you, brother. Shaloha. Oh, hold on. Everybody just hold on a minute. Boom. So much better. Shaloha. Okay. 7 AUG. The number of cases worldwide and in the U.S. continues to climb. Really, though, English, why did we choose to spell climb C-L-I-M-B? That's ridiculous. That says climba, not climb, which would be C-L-I-M-E. But I digress. As of the time of this reporting, the official numbers are as follows. Global cases. Do we even care anymore? I mean, honestly, I care, but I kind of care, but not totally care. Do y'all care about the numbers daily? Would you rather have them weekly? What would you like to know? No? No? Anybody else? Nope. Nope. Weekly? I think weekly is... I think weekly is good. Copy. Weekly, maybe. Could care less. Roger that. We'll start doing them weekly. I like it. Yeah, the numbers are a hoax. Absolutely. Okay. Well, then with that, biannually. Roger. There it is. Okay. In that case, 5 million U.S. cases, 162,000 U.S. deaths, 2.55 million U.S. recoveries. Now, Johnson & Johnson now has a $1 billion deal with UnitedStates.gov for 100 million experimental COVID-19 vaccinations. It's only 100 million. Now, for those of you who can math, that's $10 per vaccine, which for the government actually seems very reasonable. You would expect this to land somewhere in the category of $3,000 hammers and $600 toilet seats. But $10 per vaccine. Now, this will change. They'll pay them $1 billion. They'll deliver 4 million experimental COVID-19 vaccines, and they'll say, we need more money. And this is a national, international health crisis. We must do everything we can, like shovel worthless fiat currency into this bloated corporate system so that we can make sure that you don't die from a disease that has a 99-point-something% survival rate. What a friggin' hoax. Okay. The government has already been supporting vaccine development efforts with Johnson & Johnson and has already paid them $456 million to date. So what's another bill on top of that? It don't matter, right? It don't matter. It's just money. It's just money. Where does that money come from? Well, let me show you. It comes from this. This is my wallet. And it was made by Ollie Haste, who's freaking awesome. Awesome leather worker, and you should check him out on Instagram. But this is my wallet, and that's where that money comes from. The good news is, if we keep going down this road that we're on, you know, frankly, like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. But I've made up my mind, Odin's Wolf. I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. So here I go again with the report. If we keep going down this road, what's a few more cajillion dollars, right? We'll just print more. Modern monetary theory, we'll just make more money. You need more money, just make more money. Oh, so now we have literally worthless fiat currency. Good idea. That's literally what causes economic collapses, which is great because then what happens? We knock all the pieces off of the game board. Like, you may not be aware, but right now globally, there's a lot of key power players that are playing a massive game of Risk, and you were the little tiny person on the board. And they don't like the way the board is arranged, and a lot of that has to do with borders, which we've seen an increase in nationalism. Eric B., bless you, thank you. Borders, culture, language, all of those are being destroyed. Money, right? And resources. Boom. Oh, and debt. Debt. I don't like the way these pieces are. Let's deal with these pieces. Woof. Knock them off the board. So, who cares? What's another $1.456 billion? And also, frankly, vaccine, yuck, not doing it. Yuck, not doing it. May I repeat to you, please and thank you, yuck, not doing it. Also, I have, because you know everything's a coincidence, right? We're just on some dead ball of rock flying through space at 17,000 miles an hour. You know, there's no meaning to any of this. I have talked with several career nurses in the last 2 weeks, all of which are no longer in their chosen profession. And I'm talking people that have been in over 20 years, 25 years as nurses, men and women, who have all said the same thing. We are being forced to lie, and we will not do it anymore because of our faith. Let me repeat that. People who have been in nursing, some of which for 25 years, have all left their job and have all said, we're being forced to lie to do our jobs, and we won't do it. We believe strongly in thou shalt not bear false witness. Fact. Fact. Which version you want? You want the King Jimmy or the scriptures? Let me just show you. Let's just go to Exodus 20 real quick. Boom. Right here. 20:16. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Right there. Right there. Little thing called the Ten Commandments. You might have heard of it. It is literally the cornerstone of civilization here in the Western world. So just take that anecdotal data and run with it. Now there's going to be a massive rollout of an experimental vaccine, 100 million doses allegedly. And I know from firsthand reporting, many nurses are leaving their jobs because they are being forced to lie in their job, and they won't do it anymore. I mean, you're talking literally people who have been shot in the chest and were put on a ventilator for a couple of minutes and then died, being reported as COVID deaths. This thing's a freaking hoax, boys and girls, and it is being used, in my estimation, to crash land the world's economies so they can knock all the pieces off the board and have a reset. Which, of course, begs the question, what are you doing to navigate the reset? Gosh, got it. All right. School reopening is causing concerns and chaos. A law firm is offering free wills to teachers. School districts are trying to figure out how to get students to school while mitigating exposure and so on. Like, how do we actually get the kids to school? Maybe big government and bloated bureaucracies is not the answer. Maybe individuality is something that should be cherished and embraced and poured into. Maybe. Just saying, maybe. Some report their institution is requiring children to not have physical contact or share items, even as young as kindergarten. Let's be frank, because I'm known for sugarcoating things. I'm going to try to not do that now. My youngest would have started kindergarten this year. And the idea of her cute little, face getting on a school bus is the coolest thing and the scariest thing in the world under normal times. But the idea of her having to go through this thing that we are living through right now and calling it normal, earmuffs, kids, is bullshit. It's not normal. Now, I understand that there are people within the system that are trying to do the best that they can, given the parameters of the system, to do their jobs, to educate children, to make things happen in the best way that they can. And there are a lot of kids that their parents cannot keep them at home. They just can't do it. And so this is how they are going to have to school. By the hand of the Most High, we don't have to do that. And because we don't have to do that, we're not going to do that. I'm not sending kids to school under all modified guidelines that frankly are changing weekly where we are right now. They fluctuate. Dude, they're like tall hay in a breeze. They're just all over the place. Children need stability and normalcy because that equates to security, right? Why do we prep in the first place? To maintain normalcy for the people that we love. Well, this is not normal, and I'm not going to pretend that it is, and I'm not going to introduce my youngest child to schooling during this time calling it normal, because it's not. It is abnormal, and I don't think that it is psychologically productive for a 4-year-old to go through that, let alone a 14-year-old or a 24-year-old or a 34-year-old. This is stupid. Now, I realize there are people, again, trying to do their best that they can within this stupid system to bring real value and real education to real children that really need it. We are opting out. We're not doing this. From February to June, grocery store prices have gone up. Oh, really? Just kidding. Love you, Monk. Love you. You're the best. Meat and... it's not the monkeys. It's not the monkeys that I'm upset at. It's the world. From February to June, grocery store prices have gone up. Meat and poultry have gone up 11%. Beef has gone up 20%. Pork, 8.5%. Leviticus 11. Eggs, 10%. Cereals and vegetables, 4%. Now, you may not be aware of this, especially if you're new here, but we read our Bible. We do what it says. We believe in the fullness of this word right here. And I would like to tell you that just off of some basic research that I've done, the term food scarcity and or famine occurs in this Bible. And for those of you that aren't tracking, these are just two different translations of the same thing. King James, the scriptures. Pick one. Look, see? Holy Bible. 87 times. 87 times. This had a brother bailed 87 round bales in his first bailing season ever. They said, what do you think about that number? I was like, that's an interesting number. Because, and he and I did not discuss this because we were frankly terrassing through a hayfield on a side-by-side at, I don't know, 9,000 miles an hour because he likes racing. But 87 times the phrase food scarcity and or famine, depending on your translation, occurs in the Bible. Almost as if a loving and benevolent creator wanted you to understand that human beings live in cycles of time and things happen, and food scarcity is real. From the first book of the Bible to the last book of the Bible, food scarcity is discussed. There's only 66 books in the canonized Bible. There's 87 references to food scarcity, to famine. So maybe, just maybe, you should not take your foot off of the accelerator on your food storage. You should not give up on your garden or animal husbandry or working with local farmers. Stock food, grow food, raise food. We just pressure canned, I think it's 196 quart jars of chicken. It's like 400 pounds of chicken. Praise the Most High. And I say we, I was not allowed anywhere near it because the ladies of our camp are badass. And they said, we got this. And they started Monday evening and they finished late Wednesday evening around the clock. And we're not your average prepper group either. So if we are putting up that much food, let it be an indicator to you that you should not quit putting up food, that you should not quit stocking food, okay? You couple this with supply and demand, right? Basic economic factors, basic market factors. As the supply dries up, the demand stays the same or increases. Couple that with our weakening U.S. dollar, things are going to potentially start spiraling the drain faster and faster and faster. You're going to see an exponential growth rate in the panic that ensues, which is going to inform the lack of availability. And then all of a sudden you realize there's nothing on the shelf. We have no food. Now what do? You don't become a casualty because you stocked food. Confusion. Lebanese officials say the blast that killed at least 137 people and injured 5,000 others came from a 2,750 ton, not stockpile, ton. 2,750 ton stockpile. It's a 5.5 million pounds. 5.5 million pounds of ammonium nitrate. During his visit, France's Macron, who should be must slap the past across the face, Macron was surrounded by people shouting for revolution, pleading for the fall of the regime. Many screamed, "They are terrorists," referring to the national leadership. They're just wearing suits instead of balaclavas, or baklava, which is delicious. You pick. The people accused the government of being responsible because they knowingly stored the hazardous materials despite authorities' warning of danger. If you'd like a little bit more in-depth analysis on this, the most recent Viking Preparedness video on Patreon is a world sit rep, which Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness does. Phenomenal world sit reps, and pretty much it's not like an everyday thing. So when he does one, it means that there's things going on in the world that you should be paying attention to. And I listened to it on the way into the office this morning, and I was like, man, I'm glad I know that, brother. This guy knows what he is talking about. So I would highly recommend, if you're into that kind of stuff, it's $1 a month. If you hate it, you're out $1. Go check out Viking Preparedness on Patreon. Phenomenal content. But the point that he makes in that video is that the Arab world, the Muslim world, has this inshallah. It will be whatever God wills. What will be, will be. Que sera, sera. If we stack, and this is a point that he made in the video, and I'm not stealing his thunder, you should go watch the other 31 minutes of the video. If you stack 5.5 million pounds of ammonium nitrate into a warehouse, inshallah, whatever will be, will be. Bro, you just built a bomb. Inshallah. Okay. Yeah. There's another biblical reference to this. You reap what you sow. If you build a 5.5 million pound bomb next to the silos that hold 85% of your country's grain, that's really freaking stupid. You're going to reap a whole lot of stupidity from that. Does that make sense? I hope so. If it doesn't make sense, man, maybe go beat your head against a tree until that does make sense. That's what I would recommend. I, however, don't know how the brain works, unlike the Angry Viking therapist, so maybe see him. My guess is he would actually write you a prescription for beating your head against a tree, but I don't know. I won't put words in his lovely bearded mouth, but that's my guess. Former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd wrote that the risk of an armed US-China conflict within the next 3 months was especially high. And the current Prime Minister recently said it was no longer inconceivable as tensions over territorial claims are growing. The country will be boosting defense spending by 40% over the next decade. Whiskey Alpha Romeo. Oh people, oh people, oh people, oh people. Please do not quit prepping. Don't stop. Keep going. Now, pace yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't allow the prepping to create anxiety. The reason we're doing this is because beat anxiety with action. So we're taking the action of being prepared so that we're not anxious about things that are outside of our control. So don't let preparedness rob you of your joy, because there's a lot of that going on out there as well. And it's frankly, it's because fear and doom sells, right? Like that's, you want to get all the clicks, you want to make all the big bucks. 14 reasons why dogs are gonna eat your toddler when the world ends. Like, oh my gosh, I have toddlers and dogs. Are they gonna eat each other? I gotta click now. That crap is stupid. Stupid. An image of the guy in the face mask with the AR standing in front of the burning city. 12 reasons why city preppers won't survive the zombie apocalypse. Like, shut the f up. Bring value. Stop putting fear into people's heads. Teach people, empower people, equip them to make wise decisions so that they will actually do well. Not so that they'll, you know, whatever. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to use this messed up thing right here, to shine a little bit of the Father's light onto as many people as I can, so that you can go out into the world and do good. And so that you can survive whatever the hell is coming and not be a slave, not be a servant, so that you can operate from positions of strength. Makes sense, Roger? Roger, cool, awesome, fabulous, great talk. See you out there. BearIndependent.com is essentially where I'm sitting right now. Got all the things, and you guys have been killing it with your HSA health savings account and FSA flexible savings accounts. You guys rock. Thank you for supporting us in what we do. We have the adventure kit, the stomp bag, the bare minimum IFAC blowout kit, the bare FAC blowout kit, and the trauma pack insert. And we've got your TCCC training kits straight from North American Rescue. You know, the bare minimum and the bare FAC are handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever. North American Rescue internal components. All of our kits use North American Rescue internal components. You can get all of the guts for your first aid kit. If you're like, Roger that, Bear, thanks, I've got some kits already. Awesome. If you need some more chest seals, come see me. We got you, bro. But I want to show you something, because I keep telling you this, and the badasses that work with us here set this up, this little station right here. So those are all guts, the internals for bare minimums right there, and for bare facts right there. Check out that awesome bear flag that a viewer sent to us. It's freaking cool. And then we've got our banner up here, and I would encourage you to develop a mission statement for your life, because when you have a mission statement for your life, all of your actions should funnel back to that mission statement. Then you can weigh everything that you're doing again. Does this fulfill the mission statement? Or am I in line with my core values, or am I out of line with my core values? Our core values are now right here, and I wanted to share it with y'all. Can you see that? To save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experiencing the abundance of His provision and blessings. It starts with to save lives and to be in service to the Father and His kingdom. Y'all are part of that. And because of that, because of alignment with these things up here, saving lives and serving the Father's kingdom, we are blessed that we get to experience the abundance of His provision and blessings. We have everything we need and most of what we want. Praise the Father. And so I just wanted to encourage y'all, form a mission statement for your life and do it. Live it. And look, I still have, we started with this right here. Save lives. Simply print it on a piece of paper. Save lives. What do? We save lives. And I realized during the Corona apocalypse, I realized that our experience, what we were living, was counter to what we were told we should be living. That everything's going bad, but we're good. Everybody's freaking out, but we're not. Okay? So I said, save lives is great, but it's inadequate as a mission statement. And so we adjusted the mission statement from save lives to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experiencing the abundance of his provision and blessing. And I want to remind y'all, a year ago, we were packing bare facts on my dining room table. And because of y'all, because of him, we're blessed. We are experiencing the abundance of his provision and blessings. This little business that we have is growing every day, and I can't thank you enough for partnering with us so that we can live our mission statement. So thank you. And if you'd like to get one of our kits, you can get it at bearindependent.com. There are still a few slots, I believe, available for the 20th, September 20th in Fayetteville, Arkansas, for TCCC training. If you would like to get trained by badasses on how to use this stuff, I mean, I'm talking get trained by the people who write the TCCC curriculum, like for everybody else. Those people. Marine Combat Corpsmen attached to SEAL platoons. Those people. SWAT medics. Those people. We'll be there. September 20th, Fayetteville, Arkansas. The pricing is very reasonable, and you retain the trainer kit. You take your trainer kit home with you so that you can go train other people, because this is about empowering people. It's not about 47 reasons why your dog is going to kill you when the world ends. This is about empowering you to be better. Force multiplication. All right, we are still on the first page. I guess we should either cruise or take our damn time. Whatever. It's my show. It'll be what it'll be. 2 or more eyewitness accounts. Coffee. Continuity of infrastructure and supply chains. Repeating, shortages include ammo, firearms, coin, aluminum cans, home appliances, swimming pools, pressure-treated lumber, select Clorox products, and other construction materials such as nails and screws. Ain't no lie, homie. Try building a community. And then you're just like, what are we going to build it out of? Hell, I don't know. At this point, mud. Like, mud sounds good. We've got a bunch of that. Let's just start making mud huts. I got a stand of bamboo on my property, too. We got mud and bamboo. We'll just literally go all jungle on this thing. It'll be good. David A. Thank you, sir. Bless you. Thank you. According to the co-owner of JKC Trucking, they will be stopping all transportation to cities that are calling to defund or disband the police due to safety concerns. You'll be seeing more of this. This is a real thing. You'll be seeing more of this. Because, yay capitalism, I get to choose who I engage in business with. If we don't, 2 must be agreed to walk together. That is, imagine that. Oh my gosh, imagine that. Another biblical principle. 2 must be in agreement to walk together. If your ideals and my ideals are out of alignment, I ain't walking with you. We'll take our business elsewhere. We've done this many times as a small company, and guess what? It works. Because I can sleep at the end of the day. Because I'm not going to compromise this for this. Legal, political, and military. New York Attorney General Letitia James has filed a lawsuit seeking to dissolve the NRA. My initial reaction to this is meh. We'll keep an eye on it, but meh. First of all, Letitia James should take a long walk off a short pier. And second of all, the NRA, I got a cool NRA hat, and I like what they say they're about, but man, I don't know how much fruit they're bearing here lately. Last couple of years, it seems to have really slid off the deep end, but I digress. What do I need to get for my church, brother? Jason Crystal Bonner. You mean as for like IFACs, Jason? Is that what you mean? Like active shooter kits, active shooter response kits, like TCCC for your church. Bearfax work great. Copy. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Bearfax work great for active shooter situations because that's what they're for. I mean, here's the guts to one right here. So you've got quick clot, 5x9 trauma pad, nitro gloves, duct tape, triangular bandage, 4x4 gauze, 2x2 gauze, 3-inch Curlex conforming gauze, antiseptic wipes, emergency trauma dressing, cat tourniquet, decompression needle, compressed gauze, emergency blanket, North American Rescue 7¼ inch shears, nasopharyngeal airway, 2 more 5x9s, 2 full-size chest seals, and a roll of 1-inch surgical tape. All in one very compact kit that's slightly larger than the current military issue IFACs that are out there. The active shooter response kit. Now, I'll say this. The Bearfac as it comes will handle gunshot wounds, blunt force trauma, lacerations, arterial bleeds, sucking chest wounds. That's what it's designed for. Basically, combat casualty care is TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. It's what it's for. It's why it was purpose built for that. If you add a SWAT T to each one of those kits, you now have the ability to apply pressure to create a tourniquet on small diameter limbs. And that's why we include the SWAT T in the active shooter response kit. The active shooter response kit is essentially the bare minimum plus a SWAT T plus quick clot. So, and a Mylar blanket. So that's what I would recommend for a church. And if you need 10 or more of them, email sales@bearindependent.com for churches, schools, small businesses, wherever, your firehouse, whatever, man. If you need 10 or more for agencies, organizations, groups, businesses, churches, sales@bearindependent, shoot us an email, tell us what you're looking at, and we can combine colors if you want 5 gray and 3 red and 2 black. At 10 or more, we can start discussing, organizational pricing. So email me, sales@bearindependent.com, and we'll take care of you. Thanks for the question, man. I appreciate that. Okay. Shabba-dee-dabba-dee-doo. The mayor of Los Angeles has authorized the city to shut off power and water permanently to houses and businesses that violate regulations by hosting large gatherings. The mayor of Los Angeles said if you have a large gathering at your house, it is perfectly okay for the city to turn off your power and your water permanently. Permanently. I want to scream and yell about this, but instead I'm going to tell you point blank that if you live in a place where this is a possibility and you are into preparedness, you live in the wrong place. And you need to GTFO. Get the flock out of there now. I don't care about your job. I don't care about the reasons why. I don't care about all of the myriad excuses that you have as to why you can't do it. it comes down to you won't do it. And you should ask yourself why you won't do it. And the answer, frankly, is because it's uncomfortable, it's hard, and you're not taking this very seriously. You're dabbling in preparedness, you're not living it as a lifestyle, and that's okay. It's okay. Different people are bought in at different levels. However, those that take this the most seriously have the highest likelihood of not being acted upon when chaos actual ensues. And so if you're okay with being acted upon by outside forces, then by all means, stay in Los Angeles, where the mayor will turn off your power and water permanently if you host a large gathering. Great idea. If you think that's bullshizer, you should leave now. And there's no gray area on this. You are either doing or you're not doing. New York City will be establishing checkpoints at key entry points to the city to ensure quarantine is followed by those arriving from hotspot areas. We have viewers here that live in New York, in the city, on Long Island, in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. I know. The one thing that I can say I don't have a good answer for when it comes to this, leaving these areas, is, but T, I'm divorced and my kids are here. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. What I can tell you is to go with the conviction of your hearts and to prepare as best you can in these areas to be able to weather whatever storm is coming. However, but that is legit tyranny. I won't live there. I'm not doing it. And I'm a sheer force of will person. So I would apply the sheer force of my willpower to the situation and make something happen that is more ideal than I live in the tri-state area and the world is collapsing around me. What that is, I don't know. But I would seek the Father's face in that for sure. And I know many of you already are, so I'm not chastising you. Societal in general. Armed rioters blocked a Colorado Springs neighborhood street and threatened residents trying to return home. A mob of roughly 100 were there to protest at the home of a police officer involved in a justified shooting of a man last year. Civil unrest, yo. Colorado Springs. What is your population density? Where are you? Are you going to be able to act or be acted upon? 100 people? You can't fit 100 people on my road. But if you did, that'd be really bad for that 100 people. Life's full of choices, man. And what you decide to do matters. What you decide to not do matters. Made a lot of people mad with the video I put out called Surviving Martial Law, or Dealing with Martial Law. First thing I said was, don't be where it is. It can't affect you if you're not where it is. I mean, at least first order effects. Second, third order effects, sure. But first order effects, like some dude in a ninja suit's pointing a rifle in your face, that can't happen if you're not there. Well, what is your population density? And my guess is for most of y'all, it's screwy. It's not where it's supposed to be. What can you do to fix that? How seriously are you taking this? Is this going to be another speed bump on the road of life? Maybe. I'm about 30% in the column that this is legitimately it. we are going into something big. And 70% in the speed bump on the road of life. A year from now, we'll all be like, that Corona stuff sucked. Let's get back to work. We got things to do. Subject to change at any time. But I am pushing equally on both tracks here. Both from the preparedness standpoint, 30% it could come off the rails, and 70% on let's stay on the rails and let's just do what we do. Run businesses, run ministries, and try and make the Father smile. But if that 30% is enough to keep you up at night because you live in a place where 100 people can show up on your street, armed, protesting, that'd be a deal breaker for me. Single accounts, insider intel, miscellaneous. In Southwest Ohio, a contributor has noted that Walmart and Kroger shelves were wiped out of bread, meat, most vegetables, paper towels, and most toilet paper. Yeah, just had a video come out called Pandemic 2.0, How Do You Get Ready For It? You might want to check that out. In southeastern Kansas, a Walmart employee says they are no longer receiving fresh produce shipments with any regularity. Quote, the selection of fruits and veggies is markedly reduced, and what varieties there are beginning to dwindle, end quote. In Oregon, masks are being required and are being provided by community organizations. These are KN95 masks, which specifically state on the box, quote, this mask is not intended for antimicrobial or antiviral protection or related uses, end quote. This pic is on Patreon. There are lots of other pics on Patreon that are not for y'all to see, but here's the pic. That's the state of Oregon seal right there, and I'll read to you a little bit from it. Oh, and by the way, shout out to the person who thought it would be a good idea to copy paste all of my Patreon stuff and turn it into an email newsletter. Go F yourself, sir. Face masks only. This face mask is only for use as a face covering to slow the spread of virus transmission. This face mask is not for use as a surgical mask to provide liquid barrier protection. This face mask is not for use in a clinical setting for infection control. This face mask is not intended to be used for respiratory protection. This face mask is not intended for antimicrobial or antiviral protection or related uses. This face mask is not intended for use in high-risk aerosol-generating procedures. This face mask contains fabric that may contact skin, such as melt-blown non-woven or woven fabrics. This face mask is not approved for use when conducting pesticide applications. Not for pesticide application or medical use. Not for pesticide application or medical use. So why would you have a mask that you would be mandated to wear if it does not do the things that you say that it should do? This is very simple, because I've been saying this forever and a mother freaking day. This is behavioral modification. That's what it is. Will you bend the knee and bow to the big government who says that you must, or else? My answer is, or else what, homie? Or else what? Come at me. No, I will not. You can kiss my hairy ass. This is behavioral modification. There is a spirit of fear and a spirit of deception that is directly tied to this COVID thing. And you are either feeding into that, or you are feeding into the Spirit, the messenger of the Most High, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. It's one or the other. If you're in line with the Father, you should not be afraid or deceived. Let me repeat that. If you are in line with the Most High, you should not be afraid or deceived. Now, it's a challenge because the world is very good at creating fear and deception. But these mandated masks that are being provided don't do the things that everyone says that they're supposed to do. Why? Adolf Hitler said, "A lie repeated often enough and loud enough soon becomes the truth." It's not about slowing the spread. It's not about reducing transmission on a virus that has a 99-point-something% survivability rate. It's about behavioral modification. I'm not doing it. One man who plants corn most years says that what little has come up this year has been ruined by corn smut, a spore that can live up to 7 years in the ground. So that's great. Did I mention that the Bible says food scarcity 87 times? Oh yeah, that's right. I did mention that. A couple in Alabama have tested positive after the wife developed symptoms. The nurse prescribed ondansetron, methylprednisone, and azithromycin for her symptoms. Quote, "We have asked about hydroxychloroquine, and we're told that medicine was being reserved for patients that require hospitalization," which frankly, as I understand it, again, not a medical professional, but that doesn't make sense to me because everything I've read says that by the time that people get to the hospital, hydroxychloroquine is no longer effective. It's up front, the moment you find out, start dosing hydroxychloroquine, and then that knocks the edge off of this thing and it becomes far less severe. But I digress, because again, I am not a medical professional, nor do I play one on TV, but I am the guy with an itchy shoulder in the Shaloha shirt. We both received positive COVID-19 test results this morning after 3 days. As of the time of this correspondence, I have remained asymptomatic and feel fine. My wife feels okay, but becomes much sicker within an hour of taking her prescriptions each time she takes a dose." End quote. Well, that could just be reactions from the medicine. Also, I'm just frankly curious, did you receive a positive test result or do you have COVID? Because those two things are not the same thing. We have had first-hand reporting of people who have gone to five different testing sites and signed up to take the test and then left just to see what would happen. And they were contacted by all 5 places. They did not take the test. They were never tested. They were contacted by all 5 locations, letting them know that they had tested positive for coronavirus. The test tests for coronavirus. It does not test for COVID-19. The common cold is coronavirus. The test also tests for bacterial infection of the lungs, which is not coronavirus. And it's also not COVID-19. So a positive test does not necessarily mean you have COVID-19, and a positive test result can certainly be issued to somebody who has never even taken the test. So once again, this whole thing is bullshit. Praise the Father, I don't live in that world. I'm not doing it. Sheer force of will. Somebody, I hear all the time, Bear, when are the Patriots going to stand up? Why are you letting yourself get to the point where all of a sudden you got to stand up? Because you've been compromised at every turn. You capitulated on every little thing. You never drew a line in the sand. You have no idea how to actually stand on conviction. I'm telling you, it's this simple. You say, no, I'm not doing that. Well, if I don't do that, I'll lose my job. Lose your job. Lose your job like those nurses. If you believe in the Father, He will provide for you. He'll make a way. He's not going to drop the Powerball winning numbers in your lap. He might. But what He creates is opportunity for you to experience the abundance of his provision and blessing. Lose your job. I know lots of people who have, because of coronavirus, because of COVID, they decided, nope, I'm not playing that game. I will not capitulate. This is my line in the sand. Do not cross it. Do not force me to cross it. We gotta stand up, so stand up. Do it. So much easier to say it than it is to do it. It's easy. No, I'm not doing that. Well, you have to. Or what? Or what? I encourage people that I work with and consult with, when you are in a position of executive authority, not to be a tyrant, but sometimes you have to let people feel the weight of you. Or what? I'm not doing that. It's as simple as that. No. And if you'd quit idolizing money, houses, cars, tractors, pickup trucks, AR-15s, body armor, bass boats, and be in communion and worship with the Father, you'd have the strength and authority, the courage to say, no, I'm not doing that. And those are hard words, but I'm telling you, quit playing, quit messing around, because you're leaning on men of conviction to stand up for you when you yourself should be standing up. And men of conviction won't tolerate your half-assed bullshit. You shouldn't tolerate it either. You want to stand up, stand up. And I'm telling you frankly, y'all talk a big game, many of y'all talk a big game about going to guns and going to guns quick. It's because you've allowed yourself to be compromised on every little thing, that you have nothing left but the immediacy of deadly force. What does that say about the content of your character? It's why I do not associate with people whose first line of defense, well, we gotta go fight the government, is to go to guns. I don't play those games. It starts with, no, I'm not doing that. Loudly, openly, in broad daylight for all the world to see. I'm not doing it. After a surge in border declaration falsification, a sudden, could I buy the guts of the stomp bag? I have the bag already. Jaffo on the bound. Yes, yes you may. Shoot me an email, admin@Bear Independent, and yeah, we'll make that happen, brother. Happy to do it for you. And I'll send you the private link for your eyes only on how we pack them, because if you already have the bag, I'm telling you, every kit we make maximizes every cubic inch of every pack that we put it in. So if you want it all to fit in there, you might need to a little bit of encouragement on how to do it. So yes, thank you, bro. After a surge in border declaration falsification, a sudden border closure in Queensland, Australia, has caught locals and businesses by surprise. And with that, don't be caught by surprise. Get your level 4 ballistic underwear from adventurefrontier.com. Our member in good standing of the Bear Nation, the NWA Prepper, a friend and brother, awesome, awesome guy, who is the proprietor of the Land of Evil Hamsters Adventure Frontier, which is where we get our armor from our IFACs from, and our fluffy, fluffy bun buns. So, if you need armor, you go to adventurefrontier.com. Why? Because we love them and they're great dudes. And because you can use promo code BEARNATION for $10 off your armor. They've got the Spartan armor, they got the level 3 plus, the level 3s, the level 4 multi-hit ceramic plates, single curve, triple curve, anti-spall coating, this carrier, that carrier, the side plates, the hydration carriers, the IFACs, the bare minimum, the bare pack. They got all that stuff. All of it is at adventurefrontier.com. They've got great customer service and they're freaking rock stars. So if you do anything, go visit them, leave them a note, tell them how much you love them, brighten their day a little bit, and yeah, adventurefrontier.com. That's where I get my armor from. So if you want to be cool like Bear. Actionable. Local bakeries and ice cream shops are where you get diabetes, but they may also be a good source for food-grade 5-gallon buckets. Bulk popcorn is great when you have toddlers because you can make 87 pounds of popcorn, which should last them approximately 42 minutes. But you can also use it because it stores easily. It can be ground for emergency food and planted. You should check your hand sanitizers because if you try and smoke them, you will set your face on fire and that's going to suck. The FDA has also continued to warn that various hand sanitizers contain dangerous and lethal alcohols. If you're struggling to find ammo, welcome to planet Earth. You can try ammoseek.com, but you may also want to just go bang your face against a tree for a while because it's roughly the same thing. You should be in communication with your neighbors and your sheriff's department and be prepared as possible as a group for civil unrest, like 100 people walking down your street with rifles. And I'm not going to tell you how we would deal with that. If somebody had a reloading press, they would want to be present to scoop all the brass up out of the mud. The new firearms transaction record has all your buyer information on the front page. Don't let anybody be snapping pics of all your buyer information because then they're going to go online, they're going to order some kind of robotic sex doll with your MasterCard. Your wife's going to find it and be like, "What is this?" And you'd be like, "Honey, I swear I didn't do it." She'd be like, "Juliana? You bought the Julia? What is a Juliana?" "Babe, I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know?" And you're going to have a massive, massive fallout with your wife because some pervert somewhere bought a sex robot with your MasterCard because he snapped a picture of your buyer information when you were just trying to buy a gun so that you could go out there and, you know, hunt, fish, trap, scavenge, forge your way to prosperity during end times. Don't do that. Don't do that. You should reach out and socially support others, including the children and the elderly. Hug people. Tell them you love them. Spend time in their presence. Talk with them. Ask them about what they think about all of this. Especially older people, they have a lifetime, literally, of experience. My wife's grandmother was raised in the aftermath of the Great Depression. We love talking to her because she's like, "Oh, this ain't nothing. This is nothing." They ate black-eyed peas and occasionally some cornbread to go with it for 3 months one winter because that's what they had. And y'all are all bitching because you can't find dehydrated soy mocha latte to put on your shelf for your end times food storage because I need to have my caffeine or it's not gonna go so great. It's like, yeah, can you eat black-eyed peas for 3 months so you don't die? Priorities. Priorities, homeboys. Priorities, homegirls. If you need medical supplies, you know where to look, bearindependent.com, as well as midwife and veterinarian supply stores. Alternative food resources include Asian supply stores and Amish or Mennonite stores, restaurant supply stores, and local farmers. You can and should form groups and use that buying power to buy direct and, if necessary, process live on the buying of animals. If you cannot obtain seed in your area, you can plant your pantry. Dry beans, seeds found inside of ripe squash and tomatoes, potatoes that are left to sprout eyes, and so forth. And please remain politically vigilant and active because there's a whole bunch of tyrannical a-holes out there and they need to feel the weight of you. before you decide we're going to guns. You ain't going nowhere. Maybe the back of a paddy wagon. That's about it. Silver linings. A mag is forming, and the first try garden is doing well. Thank you for that report. Another says, quote, the increased time at home has made me get to know my neighbors better. I have many great neighbors. In particular, there is a family who lives two doors down where the father is a pastor. Through that friendship, I'm going to church again, reading the Bible again, and taking my faith seriously. Hard times can have deep blessings too. Amen. That is awesome. And listen, Bear Nation, I need some more tasty intel nuggets from y'all for the monkeys, please. Please send your silver linings and your intel to intel@bearindependent.com. Also, our international folks, I'd love to know what's going on in your neck of the woods. If you could please send your reporting to intel@bearindependent.com. We are indebted to you, sirs and madams. This is how we generate this report. So this is all user-generated reporting. It comes from y'all. It is amassed by the dance monkeys. They smash it into this report. The head dance monkey throws it at my face like this. I peel it off of my face. I add my own notes to it. And then we come together and we do this. Posting this, as always, on Patreon the night before. You can find the Bear Nation at bearindependent.com. On the forum. You can check out all the swag and gear at the online store. You can get your Prepper Classroom binders. Shout out to Prepping 2.0, who recently shouted out the Prepper Classroom binder on their show. So appreciate you. Good job, Glenn. Good job. Good job. Yes, the Prepping 2.0 podcast. I've been on that podcast. I think I'm supposed to do it again. I think we're going to do it again. Anywho, yeah, good job. And let's see, Veterans for Child Rescue, www.vets4childrescue.org. Listen, some people need to get shot in the face with hollow points. These right here, Spear, Gold Dot, 230 grain, jacketed, hollow point, 45 ACP. That's right. Some people just need to get cavitated. And yes, we're talking about perverts here. These perverts need to get cavitated. Unfortunately, we live in a broken, fallen world where the system that exists protects these a-holes. Well, what Vets for Child Rescue does is they find these a-holes and they develop actionable intel. What a crazy thought. They develop actionable intel and they partner with local law enforcement, providing this actionable intel so that the local law enforcement within their jurisdiction and within the scope of the work that they are to perform, allowed to perform, legally allowed to perform, local law enforcement can go in, kick doors, and rescue people. And so we are partnered with vetsforchildrescue.org to help them raise awareness for what they do and to raise awareness for human trafficking and the restoration and rehabilitation of people who have been trafficked. The Shield Wall Nation, bless you. Thank you. So, go check them out. Tell them Bear sent you. We appreciate them. We appreciate the work that they're doing. If you'd like to support Grindstone Ministries, we have scheduled the final deployment to Bethany House, and I'm keeping that one close to the vest right now. I'll let you know how it goes. We've got a small but capable team that's going to go in, do a series of punch out, and then frankly that facility is ready for use and should be used and needs to be used. We have a steadfast conviction to continue to assist in the restoration and rehabilitation of children that have been sold as product for sex. We fight not against flesh and blood, but against nations and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. And I appreciate y'all helping me hold my arms up during this battle. Some of y'all will get that reference. Thank you. It is massive. The warfare is abundant. But our Father is so badass. Exodus 15:3, Yahweh is a warrior. Yahweh is his name. And he goes to battle for his people, Yisrael, Israel, not the nation state, not any of that geopolitical bullshit. Israel means he who has striven with Elohim, the Most High, he who has overcome with Elohim, been born again, made new, and he who is ruling with Elohim, striven with, decade of apostasy right here, overcome with, awash in the Spirit, made new, dedicated my life unto the Most High, laid myself at his feet, and said, use me. And then ruling with Elohim to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experiencing the abundance of his provision and blessings. And he goes to war for his people, which is awesome because we need it. If you'd like to help us go to war, you can check out grindstoneministries.com. You can drink some disastercoffee.com. The world might be a disaster, but their coffee isn't. It's damn good. You can visit the sanctifiedsupplyco.com. They're awesome. Really cool apparel that honors the Father. T-shirts, hats, stickers, long sleeves, hoodies. They're just great stuff. And amendment, the number 1 preparedness, A1P, amendment 1 preparedness.com. Our brother from another mother who makes the most badass ham radio setups that I'm aware of. And I'm aware of a lot of preparedness nonsense. This is not preparedness nonsense. This is hardcore equipment that is purpose-built and freaking awesome. So, please say hi to our friends at Disaster Coffee, Sanctified Supply Co., and Amendment 1 Preparedness. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Let's go to war. Good morning, Father Yah. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. Thank you for the opportunity to be in service to you. I feel tiny. You are enormous and powerful and awesome. And I acknowledge your sovereignty over all things and just give myself to you. That you would use me as you see fit. That you would teach me and walk with me. Father, thank you for these people. Thank you for everybody within the sound of my voice. I pray that you would smile upon them today and stretch out your mighty hand and bless them. Father, if there's anything within the sound of my voice, here or everywhere that I can be heard right now that is not of you, we come together in agreement and rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Command it to flee we would be devoid of anything that's not of you, and that you would fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, be physically indwelt in us for strength and courage, power and authority, wisdom, discernment, peace, love and compassion, Father, and for grace and for communication. I pray that you would convict each one of us to use our giftings and our talents and our delights for you today, to shine your light out into the darkness. The people would see us and they would see you. Father, thank you for using broken people to do your will. Thank you for making a way for broken people to return home again through Yeshua Messiah. If you need to come home, just pray these words with me. Father God, I acknowledge you as creator and author of my life. I have sinned. I'm broken. And I am in awe and in fear of you. And I lay myself at your feet. I acknowledge that Yeshua is the Messiah, that Jesus is the Christ, the anointed, the chosen of you. And I beg forgiveness. I ask you to wash me in the blood of the Lamb. Father, teach me how to walk with you. Let me be your son. Show me how to do this life. I will commit myself into your hands to do your will. We pray all of this in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Michael, bless you. Morning, Brother Andy. Earl's daughter, good morning, sister. We love you back, Chad. Bear Nation, you guys are awesome. Good morning, Jeff. I'm thankful for you. Shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Y'all have an awesome day. I'll see you soon.